What's up, everybody? It's your boy TGK back with another reaction video. There are times in doing this kind of work where I find an opportunity to expose hypocrisy. And I cannot wait to show you what I got today. Joe FORTENBAUGH, I don't know how you say his name. He frequents ESPN quite often, especially First Take. But man, I got some stuff to show you about him, man. Hypocrisy. Moving the goalposts, changing perspectives, using something that would have worked for someone last year does not work for them this year. I cannot wait to show you this stuff. And I'm not going to make you wait any longer. Enough of the fluff. Let's get straight to the stuff. Okay. So the other day on ESPN, they had an MVP discussion, right? Bear with me, okay? Bear with me. Let me put y'all on game. So this video is titled Stephen A. convinced SGA deserves MVP over Jokic. This and this and this and that, right? Let's start it.
All right, the Lakers' tough stretch continues tonight as they head to Denver to take on Jokic and company. Despite Nikola Jokic averaging 25 points over the last 10 games, the Nuggets have gone 5-5 in that stretch, losing 2 of their last 3.
So what they're going to do is they're going to eventually have this discussion about if Jokic should be the MVP over SGA. But the reason I'm shooting this video is because of the guy named Joe FORTENBAUGH. Am I saying his name right? Let me make sure. Joe, let me put this, FORTENBAUGH. Joe FORTENBAUGH. That's how you say his name. All right. And what he says in here, I just want you to clearly listen to what he says, because the following video I have, it is just great. It's just great.
Don't blame Jokic's play for those losses. The Joker is averaging a triple.
Yeah, we know.
For more.
Okay, here we go.
Who's your MVP right now?
Jokic. This is one of the great all-time NBA MVP races, and I'm honored to be a part of this conversation today because I think between now and the end of the season, this is going to ramp up. Both are very deserving. Jokic should get the award. 2 key reasons, and they're based on the 2 reasons why everyone leans to SGA: the scoring and the winning. Let's start with the scoring. It's not just about the points per game. How many points are you actually generating? Let's take your points per game as well as the points you generate off assists. If you combine the 2, look at that. Jokic generating 6 more points per game for Denver than SGA is for Oklahoma City. We should bring the assisting into the equation and not just talk about the raw scoring numbers. And right there, the edge shifts from SGA to Jokic. Point number 2, the winning. Number 1 seed in the Western Conference. He's got the better team around him. I hate the idea of punishing Jokic because SGA's teammates are better than Jokic's. Here's the true measure of value. What happens when you leave the court? When SGA leaves the court this season, Oklahoma City's outscoring the opposition by a point per game. It's a completely different story in Denver. When Jokic leaves the court, Denver's getting outscored by 3 points per game. They're a below-average team when he leaves the floor. Oklahoma City's just above average. That is why you should be voting for Jokic over SGA.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
We got him. We got him, ladies and gentlemen. We got him. Just wait for what I'm about to show you. Just wait. Just wait. So y'all heard him, right? He said, how many points do you generate? And we cannot punish you for having a weaker team when, you know, we can't punish you for having a team that is not as good as OKC, right? Ain't that right, Sylvester? Ain't that right? All right, so Chilby heard that, right? Chilby heard that. So now, let's get straight to this point. I cannot wait. 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 Now, let me make sure this is good to go over here. And make sure we maximize this. Hold on. All right, I was getting like impatient. Okay. This is April 11th, 2024. Joe, if you're watching this, I'm going to put you on the thumbnail and call you a hypocrite or whatever the case may be, because I need you to see this. What you said a day ago or 2 days ago, that Jokic gets more points per whatever he generates, and he shouldn't be punished because the other team wins without their main guy, and Denver has a worse team, right? Watch what you said just dang near 11 months ago April 11th, 2024, when you made the case for Nikola Jokic over Luka Doncic. Let's go.
The most, do you think?
What do you have? 10 teams that are going to make the playoffs? 9? 9-way tie would be the answer. Everybody but Denver needs the home court advantage in this situation for the 1 seed. How are you going to beat Denver, right? We're talking about small margins for error when you're going against the best in the business. If it's a 40-minute game in March Madness, you can surprise a team. Somebody can have an off shooting night. Somebody can have a red-hot shooting night. 7-game series, Cream's going to rise to the top, Harry Douglas. You know that as well as anybody. Yep. I mean, that suit. I mean, let's just, talk about Cream rising to the top. Point is, this team at home is absolutely lethal this season. Number 2 in the NBA in wins at home behind only the Boston Celtics. Number 3 in offensive efficiency. Number 7 in defensive efficiency. They win at home by an average of 9 points per game. If you're going to take the best team in the NBA, Denver Nuggets, not Boston Celtics, and you're going to take them out, you're going to need to win it in the margins. And if you have to go to Denver to beat them, it's not happening. So it could be Minnesota to answer your question. It could be Oklahoma City to answer your question. It's everybody. They all need home court. You're not going into Denver and taking out the Nuggets.
So I'm going to go off the rails. I'm going to say the Denver Nuggets. For a lot of the...
Hold on. I'm not even at the whole point where they start talking. There we go. Here's the part. My fault, y'all.
I just think that there's a little bit of a song and dance as they're preparing for the play.
Should be.
Let's just get to his... I want to get to his part. My fault,
would
y'all.
have had some things. She shot.
Hold on.
That's where the MVPs take. Game was tight at the half and relatively tight going to the fourth. That's where the MVPs take over. This is a win-based award. Last 30 years, the 30 individuals to win MVP, 27 of them were a top 3 seed, 25 of them were a top 2 seed. We can talk about Luka and all the stats he puts up, but if you want to make the case for a guy like Luka Doncic, we got to change the name of the award from most valuable player to most outstanding player. Value is rooted in wins, and nobody's winning more in the Western Conference than the Denver Nuggets. Everyone here tried to make a case at some point this season for Jason Tatum, but the numbers don't back it up. You get into the nerd stats, something I enjoy very much, but we won't bore you with here today. We talk about value added, expected wins, player efficiency rating, Jokic. You talk about plus minus. What's the team doing when Jokic is on the court versus when he's off the court? It's Jokic. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has had a phenomenal year. Being in this conversation is an award in and of itself. We're mentioning him with the very best in the business, but only one guy can win this award. And everything you've seen in Denver, he should have won it last year. The voters owe it to correct that. I know everyone's going to say you're getting on Embiid. I'm an Embiid guy, but we saw what happened once we got to the playoffs there. Embiid completely.
It's a regular season award, though, Joe. You can't do that.
It is, I know, but let's go ahead and realize we're all humans here, and we're going to let our biases creep in. And last year, Embiid went completely MIA in the playoffs, and we saw Jokic's value throughout the course of that. I mean, you could not stop the guy.
Well, it's for me.
All right, let's go back to that one part. Check this out.
The most outstanding take over. This is a win-based award.
This is a win-based award. So now he's saying Jokic has to win it because it's more of a stat-based award. Who generates more points and who has the worse team? When last year, Luka generated far more points than Jokic, but didn't have as many wins. And last year, it was a win-based award. This year, Denver being 10-plus games below OKC is now not a win-based award. Let's see what else he said.
Last 30 years, the 30 individuals to win MVP, 27 of them were a top 3 seed, 25 of them were a top 2 seed. We can talk about Luka and all the stats he puts up, but if you want to make the case for a guy like Luka Doncic, we got to change the name of the award from most valuable player to most outstanding player.
So I guess based on his, criteria, this year, Jokic should get the most outstanding player, even though, actually, because I am consistent with the things I say, Joe, I thought Luka should have been MVP last year because of his stats and because he actually had the worse teams, right? And still got them to 50 points. This year, I actually do think Jokic should be the MVP. But you, sir, you are inconsistent. You literally said last year it was about wins. This is a win-based award. And this year, you want to completely just overlook that. You want to minimize the wins this year just to make sure Jokic gets the award. Joe's full of it, dog. And ESPN got this man up here trying to tell us what this award is like, and he don't even know what his criteria is because he changes it year to year. Well, let's see what else he said.
Value is rooted in wins, and nobody's winning more in the Western Conference than the Denver Nuggets.
Value is rooted in wins, and no one is winning more than the OKC Thunder this year. I rest my case, man. Is there more I need to say? Let me see what else he said.
Here tried to make a case at some point this season for Jason Tatum, but the numbers don't back it up. You get into the nerd stats, something I enjoy very much, but we won't bore you with here today. We talk about value added, expected wins, player efficiency rating, Jokic. You talk about plus minus. What's the team doing when Jokic is on the court versus when he's off the court? It's Jokic. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has had a phenomenal year. Being in this conversation is an award in and of itself.
That's just crazy. That's just crazy. So, again, we have people at ESPN, Joe included, literally yesterday just said Jokic generates more points and he shouldn't be penalized for having a worse record. But last year, value was rooted in wins and no one won more than Denver. And because Jokic had good enough stats, Luka's amazing stats because it was the most outstanding player, that Luka should not be the MVP. He should be the most outstanding player award. Joe, you're a hypocrite. Joe, you don't even know your own criteria. Joe, have some dignity. And the next time you're on ESPN, shout out TGK and be like, hey, I was called out for being a hypocrite, and I just want to apologize. Based on my criteria last year, SGA should be the MVP this year. But TGK was right. Or TGK is more consistent than I have been, and TGK said that Jokic should be the MVP because TGK is actually consistent, and I am not. Joe, if you were to say that, I would give you so much kudos, but Joe, you have officially been exposed, sir. And because you have been exposed, I will monitor every time you are on ESPN to see how consistent you are moving forward. And if you are not, we will continue to expose your lackluster, hypocritical takes on First Take. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's been your boy TGK. I appreciate y'all watching. Definitely leave a like, consider subscribing. Let me know what you think of this. Do y'all like when I expose people? I do. This is fun. This is like, if I could go and get paid on ESPN and make this a day job, by all means, I would expose takes all day, ladies and gentlemen. I'd expose them all day. But just so you know, little side note here. The video, this one, that was yesterday, 2 days ago. This video, it took me 40 minutes to find it because I've had this video. I have done video reactions to it last year, and I couldn't find it. I couldn't find the original, and I barely found it, bro. 40 minutes or 30, 40 minutes into researching this. So I did my due diligence to find it to make sure y'all can see the hypocrisy. People come up with things because they let their biases get involved, and then they want to make narratives to make the things make sense for their player. When in reality, there is no criteria. It's always been on narrative, and no one ever actually wants to remove biasness and actually give the proper MVP their proper MVP. You got Perkins who wants to make it racial. You got Joe who wants to just be Jokic for whatever reason. But whenever the criteria fit Luka last year, that was not a reason. SGA, based on the criteria that was set last year, should be the MVP this year. And I understand that. And if that's what it is, great. They both deserve MVP. But some people do not get the opportunity or even the privilege to tell me who should be MVP. And Joe, you are one of them, sir, because you are inconsistent. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's been your boy TGK. Appreciate y'all watching. I'm going to catch you on the next one. We are